Hello and welcome back to Tilly Floss Art. I was flipping through one of my colouring books the other day and I found myself wondering something. What would happen if I didn't just colour the page but actually tried to turn it into a painting? So today I'm going to choose a page from Creative Paula's first book, It's the Little Things, and I'm going to create two versions. First, I'll colour it in the book itself, and then I'll try turning it into a semi-realistic painting. So let's see what happens. I chose this page and I decided to keep the page in the book for the first version. To give myself a better surface to work on, I applied one thin layer of gesso. This helps to brighten the paper and stop it absorbing too much paint. Once that dried, I started building colour using acrylic markers in soft pastel shades. I wanted to keep this version gentle and close to the original feel of the page. Nothing too dramatic, just sweet and simple. As I coloured, I began thinking about light and shadow a little more than you normally would in a colouring book. Even small touches, slightly darker edges, a bit of warmth in the cheeks can make a big difference. finish this version, I used a fine liner in black to redefine the eyes and add a little crispness back into the details. And honestly, I think it came out so cute. It still feels very colouring book, but just slightly elevated. But I didn't want to stop there. I really wanted to see how far I could push it, so for the second version, I started again. This time, I sketched out my design on hot press watercolour paper. I did this off camera to save time and to make sure all the proportions were correct. And then it was time to bring it to life properly. I used my Winsor Newton gouache for this piece. Gouache is perfect for this because it's opaque but still blendable, which makes it great for building up soft layers, especially in the feathers and the glass jar. For this version, I deepened the background a lot more. I wanted contrast. I wanted the chick and daisies to stand out on the page. The jar was probably my favourite part to paint. Adding reflections, subtle shadows inside the glass and making it actually feel transparent was quite important and quite enjoyable. built up the duck's feathers slowly, layering lightly strokes over deeper tones to give that fluffer texture. Once the paint was dry, I went in with my Prismacolor pencils to add finer details. This is always the stage where everything starts to feel real. Tiny feather strokes, soft colour shifts, extra warmth in the cheeks, little shadows between the petals. And again, I used a fine liner just to sharpen the eyes, because that's what really brings a character to life. I signed my name in the corner. And then the tape peel. There is genuinely nothing more satisfying than that clean white border appearing. I love both versions for different reasons. The colouring book version feels soft and nostalgic, but the semi-realistic one feels deeper, more dimensional. I think this experiment reminded me that you don't always have to start from scratch to create something meaningful. Sometimes a simple page can be a starting point to push your skills, experiment and see what you're capable of. And I really love doing this with Creative Paula's book, because her illustrations already have such a whimsical charm. If this is something you'd like to see me do again, maybe with different themes or styles, let me know in the comments. I'd love to turn this into a little series. Thank you so much for spending some quiet creative time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!